Hello coffee lovers. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to go through replacing the steam knob on your Via Venezia. This is a very common break during shipping because it's kind of on the side of your machine, and if your box takes any weird movements or something like that during shipping, it has a tendency to break. So in order to make that convenient for you, the customer, we're going to do a little tutorial video for you in terms of replacing it. It's very, very simple. The only two things you're going to need is a very small Phillips and a flathead. And the first thing we're going to do is take off the two screws on the top to expose the steam valve shaft in which the knob connects to. So just get your Phillips and start taking these two screws. And there's a total of how many on here? 6. You only need to take off the two at the very front. There's a lot of play with the top panel, so don't worry about any of the other screws. And sometimes these can be kind of a pain to take out because all the pressure of the top panel is pressing up on the bottom of the screws. So you might have to hold down the weight of the top panel in order to get this off. Okay, so I got the two very small Phillips screws out, and now we can kind of, sometimes this takes a little bit of wiggle room to get out, so I'm going to get my Phillips here, my flathead, and start making my way around the front, and this top panel will slowly but surely pop off. There we go. So now we're on the inside of our Via Venezia after taking off the top panel. And what we really want to focus on is this area right here. It's the part of the steam knob that goes in the farthest. And essentially what can happen is, this is our new knob, which you would get in the kit, is there's a seam here, and oftentimes it can break from there. And so the customer will get their new knob, they're trying to put it on, and then this little bit is still in there on the steam valve shaft, and they can't get it on, they don't realize why, and it's because they still have part of their broken knob on the shaft of the steam valve. So what we're going to want to do is take this clip out first, which should come out very easy. This clip is old because it's not actually clipping all that much. So I got the clip out, and on this design of the steam valve, this is the only thing holding your knob in, is this clip. We have a different clip with the kit to keep your knob on. But now that that's off, I'm just going to pull this right out. Now before I do that all the way, sometimes this is on a lot better than it is on other times, so you might have to take your flathead and kind of pry like this in order to get it all the way off. Sometimes they're really stuck on there, and that's, you might find yourself having to do that. And this knob is really worn out. If you look on the inside of this shaft, it's meant to, find this flat edge of the circle. This is the shaft going into your steam valve, and it connects with this right here. But that flat edge it's not really visible. This knob's taken a beating. If we look at our new knob, there's clearly a flat edge in there, waiting to get on the shaft. So what we're going to do now is put our whole knob together before we get it on. So we have our cap and we have our knob, and what we're going to want to do is just line up one of these grooves with this straight edge right there, which is very easy. But you do have to be pretty aggressive when getting this cap on there. I mean, it really clips in there, and once it's in, So there's the first bit, second bit. Let's see, I'm just going to squeeze this. There we go. As you can see, that's really on there. They're really hard to get off. If for some reason you do need to get this cap back off the knob, the best way is to find something very narrow and metal, put it down here, and just kind of hit it, and this eventually will pop off. But try not to do that because it's pretty hard to do. Now this is the other thing that comes with the kit, and it's just this clip right here. It goes right here, and the purpose of this is simply just to hold it on to the shaft of the steam valve. You just kind of fix it right over the knob, and it's supposed to sit just like that. So that's your whole knob right there, the whole thing. Now, what you're going to want to do is look on the inside of your knob and find that flat edge. just to make it easy for putting it onto the shaft. So find that flat edge and then look at your shaft right here and find the flat edge on your shaft. So I'm going to do that. Flat edge is down. I'm going to put the flat edge down on the knob, and it should be relatively easy in terms of putting it on. Let me see here. I'm going to take another look here. There we go. Our new knob is on, and you're good to go. If you wanted to, you could kind of double up on the clip, because as you can see, I can kind of easily take this off. So if you wanted to, you could have the one that we provided, and then you could put this one back on there. See if I can do this. A pair of needle nose pliers would be very helpful there. But now, as you can see, I can't get this off now. So you can kind of double up on the clip just to make sure it's secure. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you can see, it's making contact with the micro switch here. No reason why it shouldn't. And you're all good. And you've just successfully replaced your steam knob on your Via Venezia. Like I said, the main thing you want to focus on if your knob is in fact broken, just make sure you get all the debris off, because this is not going to work properly unless you do. So just really focus on this area. Make sure if you see any black plastic that looks broken, get it off before you try installing this. And once you get it off, you'll be good to go. Okay, so you have your new knob installed. Obviously the next step would be get the 2 screws on and fasten down your top panel. But that is the bulk of the repair in terms of installing your new steam knob. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call here at Saeco Coffee Gear, and good luck. Thank you.